All right, guys, thinking you might want to visit Nicaragua, but you're not quite sure what to expect, man. We're going to be talking everything traveling Nicaragua. We're going to be where to go, what the prices are, all the hacks, the good, the bad, off the beaten path, all of it with our resident Nicaraguan expert, Jazz. We talked to him before. We're going to get to him in a minute, man. Guys, we're down at Estarios, is that correct?
Estarios.
In Sunset Del Mar Resort. We're at the relocation retreat. So real quick, if Costa Rica is on your radar, thinking you might want to live here, but you're not quite sure, this retreat might be for you. All that info, dates, prices, everything is in a link in the description. I would love to see you there. We got a packed house. The next one is coming up. Check out those dates. I would love to see you there. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see videos as we put them up, hit the notification bell. And yours truly does a podcast, Odd Couple Costa Rica, every Sunday at 9 with Alan Richard. He's the odd and odd couple. So I'd love to see you there on a Sunday morning. But today we're not doing any of that. We're talking with Nicaragua. Yasser, thanks for talking. Oh, I'm sorry, Jazz. Thanks for talking to us. All right, man. So let's just. I want to get one thing out of the way real quick because I'm kind of tired of the comment.
Yeah.
Living in Nicaragua is not the same as traveling in Nicaragua.
That is correct.
So please, we know about the government. It doesn't really affect traveling. So let's get off that really quick.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Correct. So traveling is not living. Same as here as Costa Rica. It's not the same thing. So Nicaragua is a beautiful country. I know that because I've been there a bunches of times. But we're going to be getting more detail with Jazz. So where to start? Oh, I know everybody's number one thing. How's the internet in Nicaragua?
You can find it everywhere, almost everywhere. That you also find some areas that hard to get access to, even because of the roads. There are some isolated areas, I would say, but that is up north and let's say off the grid. But if we're talking about the Pacific and major cities in the Atlantic, then
So the regular tourist places where most people go, you are going
to find. Yeah, most of the hotels, cafes, restaurants, even co-working spaces, they have, of course, internet, Wi-Fi access, and all that.
So people can, because this is another question. Even though they might be vacationing or passing through, they do want to know would they be able to work? Would internet be good enough so they could work from their hotel, from their Airbnb, from their
exactly. Yeah, I myself consider a digital nomad, if you will. So I can be working in Nicaragua, in any city of Nicaragua, as long as I have internet connection, which has been really easy to do in Nicaragua. Really easy. I would go either to San Juan del Sur, Granada, León, or even up north in Matagalpa. I can be working there. Just
no problem.
No problem at all.
Okay, let's talk. One of the reasons why Nicaragua is on everybody's map, not only is it beautiful, but let's talk about the prices real quick, especially compared to where we're sitting right now in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I saw those.
So I would say traveling in Nicaragua is pretty cost effective, but I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, indeed. You see, Nicaragua doesn't have this many resorts. If you know what I mean, like this major, big resort, and like all-inclusive resort. There's only one all-inclusive resort in Nicaragua, but the price is a lot cheaper than here in Costa Rica.
Well, I know, but I think it's cheap in all avenues. I mean, I'm talking about hotels.
Yep.
I'm talking about food.
Yep.
I'm talking about. I mean, that's pretty. There's a significant difference. I remember even a long time ago. We'd go get an entire pizza there for like next to nothing. Where here it's $20, there it's $8. Or something like that. Indeed, even in like places like Granada.
And the fact that the prices are lower over there doesn't mean that the quality is lower too. Not at all, because you can have really tasty, good food for a cheaper or half a price than you can find it here in Costa Rica.
I think one of the main Nicaragua is a little, Costa Rica and Nicaragua are extremely similar. They're the beauty that we have here, they have there. The animals we have here, they have there.
Yeah.
It's just Costa Rica did do a little bit better job of marketing, but that benefits you as a traveler in Nicaragua because our prices are a little lower. You can find a little bit more discounts. It's going to be more friendly to the backpacker and stuff than Costa Rica would be. So although they'll probably catch up at some point to Costa Rica, I think it benefits the traveler right now that it isn't you know, I don't know that just the marketing hasn't been as good as like Costa Rica. Even
Yeah, that's what we discussed in our previous video. You see, the tourism industry in Nicaragua is not as developed as it is in Costa Rica, Panama, you know, but we're getting there. So that's why I'm asking you guys to come and visit, so we can pick it up.
well, let's talk about safety. So
Right.
you know, the United States likes to throw their little safety numbers around, like, oh, like they do that to Costa Rica. They're level 3 because of the crime here and there, which is true, but a little bit of a misnomer because it's usually in certain areas of like San Jose or Limon or some places. But they try to act like it's around every corner. There's a thief waiting for you,
And that is not true. But that happens everywhere. You know, that happens.
I know,
everywhere.
but I'm just saying, from somebody that lives there, as a safety factor of a traveler, how safe are they?
Well, it is pretty safe. Actually, Nicaragua was voted as one of the safest countries in Central America a few years ago.
To travel?
To travel. Yes. Yeah. We are very welcome. Like I mentioned, we expect everyone to have a good time there, but you can actually go, and as a solo traveler, if you're traveling alone, Nicaragua was topped number 8 for solo travelers as well. So it's pretty safe.
So even women?
Yeah, exactly. For women, you know, you have to be careful. Of course, you don't have to put yourself in harm's way. You know, so you need to.
Yeah, I think anybody would say common sense rules the day.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're going to get drunk at a bar and roam around drunk on the streets at 3 a.m, you might be asking for a little bit of, you know. I mean, I think the travel tip with that is if you can travel with your friends at the hostel to the bar, take taxis to bars, you know, clubbing or whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Really, not that the streets wouldn't be safe, but why walk them when you can taxi from club?
Just make sure that you take, you know, that you're cautious when you're walking around. So you have, see, now that you mentioned taxis, we don't have Uber in Nicaragua, but we do have some other apps that you can download easily onto your phone.
Like Uber?
Like Uber, yeah. We have several apps. Now, of course, do your research, right? Before going there, you can also ask at the hostels or Airbnbs or wherever it is that you're staying at. You can ask, what is it the best way to go? What is it that you can use? What is it that you cannot do? What is it that you can do?
Well, okay. Well, that brings another question. So, what's the best way to see Nicaragua? Should you, I don't know, get a guided tour? Should you get a rental car, buses?
You can get rentals. You can get but then again, and I insist, it really depends on what you want to do. And for almost everyone, we have something to offer. For example, I know about people who like the adventurous way of getting to know the country, and they go in public buses. They want to know what it is like to be actually.
So kind of do like a cultural experience.
Yeah, you can do that. You see, you have this cultural experience, but then you can also do it in a very what's the word that you use? Bougie. You can do it that way.
Private drivers.
You can get a private driver. You can get a guided tour. You can get picked up at the airport and then be dropped off at the door of your hotel. You can actually do it.
So how does, is there ways there? If you have a rental car, will you be able to get to where you want to go if you don't know anything about the country with like a Waze app or something?
Yes, and there are also some translators applications or apps that you can easily use. Waze and Google Maps work perfectly. It is true that we don't have street numbers or maybe street names. Is really hard to get around in Nicaragua, I have to say, because we have reference points and not actually like addresses like you in the US or in Canada may be used to, like between First Avenue and the Third Avenue on the 3rd Street, for example.
Well, I'm assuming if you know the name of the place you're going, it'd be like Costa Rica. It's kind of similar. You just put in the, Michael's Hotel,
And then Waze or
There,
any other GPS application can take you there. Yeah.
Now, by the way, these are just random questions. So, what about exchanging money? Is it pretty easy? Should you do it before you come? What do they take? What's accepted? Talk about the bills. What if you give them a torn $20 bill? Talk a little bit about the money in exchange.
You see, if you went to I would suggest that you guys exchange dollars to Cordobas before you get into the country, or at the airport, or at the border. You can do it there. The rate is around 36, 37 Cordobas to $1,
which obviously can change.
It can. Well, actually, there is a new law that this rate is going to stay there for at least 2 years.
All right. So what about euros or Canadian money?
It is not accepted.
Neither one.
No.
So it's either dollars or Cordobas.
Dollars or Cordobas. Now, one thing that you do need to know is that you may pay with dollars, yes, but up to with $20 bills. $50 bills and $100 bills are not accepted. They don't accept it. I mean, you can go to a bank and exchange it into smaller denominations and so, but you can pay with $20 bills if you need to pay with dollars, right? But I would suggest you actually exchange dollars to Cordobas beforehand.
So if somebody only has a week, or let's say not like a long time, what are the hot spots? What are the popular places? If you don't know anything about Nicaragua, what are the top places to visit?
One thing that you need to do for sure is to know why is it that Nicaragua is called the land of lakes and volcanoes. And
I'm thinking they have a lot of lakes and volcanoes.
Indeed. So one thing that you want to do is visit Isla de Ometepe. That's where you're going to find raw.
Now, for us people that don't speak Spanish very good, the island of Ometepe.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been there. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it is, and you can find a lot of amenities there. It's a developed. There are 2 developed towns on the island, and you will see 2 big volcanoes on the island.
I climbed one, and you take a boat over, don't you? Don't you take a ferry?
There's a ferry. There's a ferry coming from Rivas, exactly from San Jorge, and you can take the ferry to go over and get to the island.
Yeah, before we get to the end of the video, if you need help in your travel plans to Nicaragua, Jazz does that. So if you want to get a hold of him, get a hold of me or something, we'll get a hold. Somehow I'll connect you, or we'll get connected to Jazz.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ometepe, where else? Now my favorite, can I just throw my favorite place?
Go ahead.
I know it's big and it's probably the main one. I love Granada.
It is also one of the highlights.
The oldest city in Central America, colonial.
It's actually Latin America.
Latin America, yes, I meant to say.
Yeah, and yes, it's a big highlight. You see, you get to, let's call it, mingle with the locals, because you are surrounded by other tourists, because this is a very touristic city, but at the same time you see locals just having fun. And being locals, being locals, that's what we're good at.
I mean, I know why I like the city. I just like that whole, you're walking down a road, a cobblestone road, and it's just walls of big doors, and it's like, okay, what's that about?
And really colorful houses.
Yes, and you open the doors, and it just like goes back a mile. I don't know, not a mile, but just there can be anything behind that door. We'll just go with that. Anything behind the door. But I like that old colonial feel. They got the old churches there.
Yes.
And I mean, everyone takes a picture of that one church in the center. And then they got that little touristy restaurant section, and they got Lake Nicaragua where you can go over to the little islands and see that. And
you can also find so many options for dinner or lunch.
Yep.
You find Mediterranean, you find Asian, you find Latin or even Arabic.
All of it. We had barbecue there once. We had barbecue there. Somebody had a barbecue place with pizza. It's all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm a real fan of Granada. Okay, another place?
If you're staying in Granada, I would also recommend you to visit Mombacho, which is another volcano, and you can walk actually all the way to the top of the volcano and do a trail.
It's closer to Granada, or you take a taxi, or what do you do?
It's very close. You can take a taxi over there. It may take you for, I don't know, maybe 200, 300 Cordoba, something like that. you want to make sure that before you take a taxi, you want to negotiate the price. We don't have a meter.
No Maria.
No,
We call Marias, I think, here.
yeah, here in Costa Rica, because they have this way to do it.
That's a good tip. So
Yeah,
you better
so-
kind of know what you're.
Yeah, you want to make sure what is the price for the taxi ride before you get in.
How high will they start? So if I'm a gringo, they know obviously I don't know the place, but maybe the way I'm talk or the way I'm carrying myself. Yo quiero voy a ir de Mumbai.
Your accent is excellent.
Yes. would they start like super high? I mean, would you literally cut it in half? Give us an indication of how much they'll tack on
It
if
really
you don't know.
depends on where is it that you're going. Now, within the cities, except for Managua, which is the capital city, but if you're in towns like Granada, Masaya, Leon, they have sort of a fixed price. So, and that is between 20 and 30 Cordobas, which is a little bit less than $1. But you ask first, because just for what you said, the accent, the way you look, obviously you're lighter skinned than the rest of us.
I would
right?
say they're going to try to. I mean, who
They're
wouldn't
gonna
to
they're gonna
get
try
a little
to-
more than they
to bring it a lot higher. But then you have watched this video and you know that wouldn't be the right price, right?
or even just to barter.
Yeah,
Whatever they say, don't take that as
don't
it.
take it as a fixed price, and then you can go like, I don't know, you can lower. For example, if you know that is 30 Cordobas for the taxi ride, you can go and say, why don't we do 20?
and see where that goes.
And see where that goes.
Okay.
And they may bring it up to 25. It's just bargaining. Yeah.
So, okay, I only have time to see one beach. Is it San Juan del Sur?
Yes. That would
Because
be,
of proximity to everything, or it is kind of the better place to go?
because it's the well-known place.
Well, tell them about San Juan del Sur, I think. Would be
San
good.
Juan del Sur is really close to the border with Costa Rica. So if you are in Costa Rica first, because that's something that we also actually may invite you to do, which is come into Costa Rica and then come into Nicaragua for a visit, I don't know, maybe 3-4 nights, for example. And if you do it by land, then San Juan del Sur is the place to go.
Oh, wait
It's
a minute,
only
let's
one
back
and a
up.
half-
Oh, back up. So we talked about this before we turned this video on. You had mentioned something like taking a plane into Nicaragua, which you would land in
Managua.
can be very pricey
Yes.
for some apparent reason. So you were kind of saying it might be better if people actually fly into Costa Rica
Yeah.
and then go up.
Yeah.
Maybe enjoy Costa Rica. Don't enjoy Costa Rica. Just go right to the border. But that might be a cheaper option than actually flying into Nicaragua.
That is correct.
If Nicaragua is your final destination.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
That's a good hack, actually, I think.
yeah, it is because of the airport taxes. Most of the airlines they already include that airport taxes in the pricing, but you want to do your research first. But yeah, so going over the border, then you have San Juan del Sur, and if you want to enjoy the beach, you can do it from San Juan del Sur. You can be based in San Juan del Sur, and from San Juan del Sur, you can go over to this so many beaches around the town.
You could definitely spend 2-3 nights around that area. I think there's
Yeah.
plenty to do. You can walk up or take the car up and go see what's that statue up on the hill.
Yeah, there's Jesus
That's
Redentor.
pretty interesting. That's a really nice view looking down at San Juan del Sur.
Yeah.
I remember, and they definitely got a lot of restaurants and even clubs.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
San Juan del Sur is an almost perfect horseshoe shape,
Yeah, right.
right? And if you go all the way up there to the highest point in town, you will have this amazing, gorgeous view of the town. And if you go a little bit to the north of the town, you can find Playa Maderas, where you have maybe you have known about this. Nicaragua is well known also for surfing, and Playa Maderas is one of the hottest spots for surfers.
Oh, it's good to know. I think you mentioned that, but I didn't know that prior to you telling me that there was a kind of a surfing hotspot.
Yeah,
Is it hot spots or it's one hot spot?
Well, Maderas is where the
They have
contest.
competition.
They have
like-
competitions and everything. That's where it takes place. But there are also other beaches for surfing as well.
All right, so San Juan del Sur. We're going to go to San Juan del Sur. We're going to Granada. The
Mombacho,
Mombacho. Okay, give me one more. Or well, no, it can be more, but I mean, a couple other places.
Masaya,
Now, why
for
am
the
I?
cultural heritage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cultural heritage, meaning I'm just walking around, people watching, or what's there?
Well,
am I going in churches? Is there
you
markets? What am I doing?
You could go to the local market. There is a handcraft market where every tourist go.
What
And
are
I
they
don't know
known
about
for,
you
wood?
guys, but when I travel, when I visit a country, I actually want to see how people live there.
Yeah.
You know, to get in touch with the people. So going to the central market, that would be a very good experience, because then you have also handcrafts if you want to take some souvenirs as well, if you want to buy some. But you can also see the economical activity of the town. You could also go to a place called Monimbo, which is the biggest indigenous region in Masaya. It's really, really nice to see.
You know, if you've never seen a market, man, there's just it's just a hotbed of activity. They sell everything from, I don't know, baby wipes and clothes and fish and fresh vegetables.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's going on there, and they're usually really big. You can get lost up in there inside, and you can eat there and all kinds of stuff. Now, as far as arts and crafts, what's Nicaragua known for? Is it wood products? Is it weaving? What is it?
Well, if we talk about economic activity, I would say beef. We export a lot of beef. But then for tourists, I would say is handcraft. Wood.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wood products.
So could you be okay with one night there? Should you spend a couple nights? Is there enough to do for a couple
In Masaya?
nights? Yeah.
I would say a couple nights, 2 nights the most.
Now we still have. Are we doing the regular stuff, or are there zip lines and rafting and these
There
kind
are
of
also
things?
zip lines in Mombacho, the volcano I mentioned. You can find one of the most popular zip lines.
Wait, you were talking about, what was that? Going down into the sand, or no? Wait.
That is in Leon, which is completely up north and on the coast,
surf this. Go
on the
down
Atlantic
like
coast. Yeah, there is sandboarding, and you need to climb the Cerro Negro, which is another volcano, and then you come down on a board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have zip line. There's access to zip lines. Some of these places. Do you do rafting there?
I'm not sure. Maybe up north, up in the mountains, like around Jinotega or Matagalpa, Esteli, which
Now,
is the coolest areas of the country.
Would that be called off the beaten path that people don't see too often? I mean, would you recommend that, or do you need a guide to see it, or
not really? No, you don't need a guide to go to Matagalpa or these major cities up north and the mountains. They're also really popular, but these are places where not many tourists go. I would say you might find some tourists there, but that means that these tourists are the ones who are actually doing the research. If you know that they.
Oh, right.
You know.
So what's up there? So it's more of a like a nature thing.
You're right.
Yeah, like a nature thing, like waterfalls and stuff. That's why you go up there. Like
natural reservoirs and these kind of places. You can also in Esteli. Those are really nice macaws.
Those are macaws, right?
Yeah, those were macaws.
You heard that, right?
Beautiful.
Macaws just flew by. We like the macaws here. So
yeah, it is a little bit off the beaten path, I would say. Not something that most tourists visit, but it's very nice. It's very nice. Now in Esteli, you can stay at a natural reserve there, and you can sleep there for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 nights, for example, and you can be part of the activities there, like a volunteer or something. That's also really nice to do. Anything
else off the beaten path somewhere they should go or consider if they have some extra time, or would you go up there? Or is there any other places? I mean, is there other cool beaches or other cities or whatever?
Leon, and then Las Peñitas, to go up all the way down to Las Peñitas.
Why would we go there, or why would we go to Leon? Is it cultural still?
Also cultural. This is the second colonial city in in Nicaragua, and that was also the capital.
Now,
Before Managua became the capital, Leon used to be as well.
okay, they say Costa Rica people are nice, and I know the answer to this, but are they nice to the tourists?
Yep.
Like
Yes.
interactions are going to be good, helpful, that kind of thing.
You can, if you find yourself in troubles, I think you're gonna get some
They'll help you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Yes,
that here.
they
too.
will stop if you're, I don't know, in the middle of the road, or you want some directions. Let alone you're just wandering in the city and you want to find a place. Believe me, we will try to find a way to let you know how to get there. Some people, I have seen that. Some people may even walk with you to the place.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Now it seems like we're going backwards, but it's easy to cross the border.
It is. It actually is. Now, once you get there, you want to make sure that you have everything ready. Now, going out of Costa Rica, you need to pay an $8 exit fee, I believe.
$8.
$8. Yeah, and you need to pay it online. That is something that maybe later on, maybe either in the description we can leave that link or something.
Well, the Los Chiles, the one here, the Los Chiles thing to San Juan, taking going the other way.
Yeah.
The closest one to Fortuna. A lot of
Yeah.
people do their back and forth. I think there's actually an exit. Like, I don't want to say an ATM machine, but like you can do it at that border. But
it's a self-service.
kind of. I
machine.
think.
Yeah,
I haven't done that.
You can there. You can do it there. I haven't seen it in at Peñas Blancas.
So I guess what if you're going to be crossing the border? Okay, well, no, tell them. Well, okay, so what are the things they got to do
before leaving Costa Rica? Then you make sure that you have paid that $8 exit fee. Now, once you cross the border, you come into Nicaragua and you bring your passport. You have to purchase a $10 Visa card. It's called a Visa card.
It's a tax.
Yeah, they call it a Visa card, but it's more like a tourist tax.
Right.
And that is that gives you 90 days to stay in the country.
And this is the same as the airport. Like if they did fly in, they didn't want to do the crossing to Costa Rica.
You pay those $10 at the airport as well. Yeah, yeah. So then you go up there, and it is really easy. There are several ways you can do this. You can do it using public transportation, which is the cheapest way to do it. You can also use a bus line that goes from Panama all the way to Mexico. So you can take that part of the whole trip from either San Jose, Liberia. There's another airport in Liberia that you can also come to. You can land on.
You're talking about Liberia and Costa Rica too.
Yeah, and then you go there. It's really easy to do. Or you can also rent a car, and you can rent it beforehand, before crossing the border, and they can bring it to the border, so it's waiting for you at the border.
Yeah, you can't drive a rental car from Costa Rica to Nicaragua. Just so we're clear on that. You can park it and cross over, but you can't take it away.
Yeah.
So now let's say somebody gets hurt. They're doing an adventure tour or sorts, and somebody gets hurt. What's going to happen? Is it going to be safe? Is Nicaragua going to take care of you? Now, what if you don't have any insurance?
You'd be taken care of. Meaning they will handle you. They will bring you into the hospital, and then you're stabilized, I would say. But then you would need to make arrangements.
Yeah, th're not
for further treatment.
Yeah, you can't take advantage of the system. Yeah, so Costa Rica's kind of like that too. So, guys, I think the tip on that is you know how old you are. You know what your health is. You know how physically active you are. Yeah. If you're coming to another country, maybe go ahead and get a little bit of traveler's insurance. Just to be on the safe side. Quit acting like it's always going to be fine, because, some of those hikes you're on, just one little off the path, maybe your ankle twists a little bit. So, take some responsibility, guys. Take some responsibility. Indeed. It's not Nicaragua's fault or Costa Rica's fault because, they're not paying your total hospital bill. And Costa Rica does the same. If you don't have insurance, they'll stabilize you here, but you're just not going to be sitting around and they're going to go
do these things. But you need to make arrangements. If you get hurt, then once again you're being handled, you're getting stabilized and all that. But afterwards, you need to make arrangements. So it's better that you do these arrangements before you come to the country.
If people do decide to rent a car, are the gas prices okay, or is it expensive like it is in a lot of places, or is it reasonable, or where's it at?
Gas is about $1.50 per liter, something like that. $1.50. Yeah.
What's that mean?
I don't know what the prices are in the US or Canada. If you have
we don't even
information,
in the US we don't even know what a liter is unless it's a Coke. Give me a liter of Coke. Okay, that's about that much. We do all that gallons and ounces and stuff.
Okay, okay, I see. So
fill up a tank. You have a car.
Yes.
How much is it to fill up your tank? I guess it does depend on the size of the tank as well, but let's just do ballpark.
True, but I would say I pay around $30-$40 to fill up my tank.
Okay, I would say that is very reasonable because here it is not that. It is pretty much more. So it would be kind of cost effective. If you wanted to do the rental car, you could kind of afford gas. Tipping? What about tipping?
Tipping, it is included. If you go to a restaurant and you have your meal, you get the receipt, you will see 10% service, and that's already included. But it's not uncommon to people to leave some tip.
You can give extra if you want, but if the 10% is on service. Now, do they have the same problem as Costa Rica does? Because in Costa Rica, they are not known, for the best of service. They'll serve you, but they're not always smiling. They're not really. They probably won't get you a beer unless you ask here in a lot of...
In most places, yes. In most places, Nicaraguans or people in the customer service industry, they're always smiling.
So it's good service, better service than here?
I would say so.
I'm sorry. Do we believe him? I don't know if we believe him. I'm not sure about this one. He's not...
Well, I guess you have to come and find out yourself.
Anyway, so what else? I mean, did we miss something? Is there okay? Here, I want to say this. I know his Spanish. He talks really good Spanish, doesn't he? But so he's throwing all these towns out, and I'm sure you don't remember half of them. I don't. He's all these things. So, what do you say about that? Where do I serve? What is that? So, if you need help, you can get a hold of him. But I do the same thing. He's throwing out all these names, and he says Spanish is good. It's kind of a quick name. I'm glad I didn't hear what. So, again, if you need that help, I think he'll be happy to help you.
Of course.
I don't know. Did we miss something? I don't know. We can always do another video.
Yeah.
So I think the takeaways here is Nicaragua, in my estimation, I've been there many times, is definitely a place to see. I think it's underrated for a variety of reasons. One is the marketing, a little bit behind the times, but as far as beauty and people and the cultural aspect, I mean, I'm not, it's just as good as any other place.
Yeah, it is. And
culturally,
actually,
it's probably got more culture than there's here.
I would say so. And not because I wouldn't say better or worse. I would just say different, because...
Well, the oldest city in Latin America.
Exactly.
It speaks for culture.
Exactly. And you may also find some people dancing on the streets, like these typical dances.
I did that when I was there. It was 2 in the morning. I was there.
That was not.
I'm not sure if I was supposed to be doing that.
No, but yeah, you may find every town in Nicaragua have its own local parties, or local festivities. And depending on the time of the year, you may find these activities, these religious or cultural events.
Actually,
really nice.
I actually do have one more question. I don't want to get this to do with the government, but maybe if you could kind of broadly answer. So let's say, I don't know, this could highly be possible with me back in the day. Public intoxication. Maybe they did catch me behind the wheel of a rental car with maybe a little bit too much beer breath. What is likely to happen if I'm good with the police and I'm nice and I'm following instructions, but I'm drunk on the street or maybe even behind the wheel? I know that's a vast difference, but behind the wheel, am I jailed forever and never going to see the light of day?
No, actually no. I mean, as anywhere in the world, you just follow the rules. And if you are pulled over, because sometimes on the road, if you're driving, if you're in a rental car, and you see, sometimes you might see police control down the road, and they just doing this routine control. If you have your insurance, not only for foreigners but mostly for locals. If you have your insurance, if you, everything is.
Would
okay.
they be more? I'm serious. I don't know. I don't even, maybe you don't feel comfortable answering this. Would they be more apt to give a gringo a break, or more apt to go, frickin' gringo, we're gonna, you know what I mean? Where would?
Yeah.
What do you think? Because here, I think they give gringos actually breaks when you're a tourist here.
Yeah, actually, I have to say, tourists and locals are not treated the same. In a way of, if a local is pulled over by the police, they might give you a warning, give a verbal warning or something. They might just let you go and, okay, don't do it again, or something like that, depending on what is it that you did.
Right.
But if it's a foreigner, I have to say that you want to be careful there. You just...
Well, yeah, obviously you're doing that stuff at your own risk. I mean, obviously common sense. You're in another country. If you're getting behind the wheel drunk, might have to question your common sense on that. And I'm going to go ahead and push one more tough question just because it hit me. Okay, so you smoke a little pot. What's their stance on marijuana in general first? You don't have to answer for any like police thing, but what's the stance on it?
It's not allowed.
And period. It's not.
That's it.
So if you get,
allowed. I'm not saying that
is it
not
prevalent?
done.
Is it like prevalent? Like here, if you go down to Puerto Viejo, down on the Caribbean side, as a tourist, you get approached quite a bit to buy some. So would that even happen there with the with the kind of...
It happens. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. And yes, there are some people they also do it, which is fine. I mean,
no judgment.
No judgment at all. And there are people who do it. However, if you're caught, then you're gonna face the consequences.
Well, again,
but there are also some places where you can actually feel free to do it. Like some areas in Granada, maybe even some or either hostels or restaurants or something, they're cool with it. That really depends on how they approach on the subject.
But like everything, if you're going to make that decision, you do it at your own risk.
Exactly.
So, you can't say, well, I didn't know that or something.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't mention one thing, Jazz, I got to tell you. Jazz used to work on a pretty hot spot in Nicaragua called Corn Islands.
I did, yeah.
And you haven't mentioned Corn Island.
Well, actually, because the logistics to get to Corn Island, they may take a little bit more time. You have to fly there, or either you take the boat there. So
I think a lot of people think it's worth it.
It is.
It's kind of a paradise island.
It is, actually. I lived there and worked there for almost 2 years. And man, the fact that I could just get off my bed and literally just put my foot in the sea. Yeah. I was that close to the ocean. It's really nice. You have these white sand beaches there, and there's very, very nice spots there. Also, you have these touristy places, the touristy spots.
On the island?
On the island, yeah.
The island is quite small, right?
It's a fair developed island,
but it's quite small, right?
It is small. If you take a bike and you go around the island in one go, it may take you, 30 minutes? 25 minutes?
It's pretty small.
Yeah, it is small. But
I've seen the pictures, though. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. And sunsets there. Ooh, wow. I'm a sunset lover, and believe me, you are up for a treat if you want to do that. But then on the south end of the island, there are these less explored beaches, like Silver Sands. That is one of the most beautiful beaches on Corn Island.
Nice.
Yeah, it is very nice. And then you have also some little nice local businesses. You have Spequitos, you have also Tranquilo. Now, if you want to have a culinary experience and just enjoy the flavor of the island, then you may want to go to Seaside Grill, which is...
Oh, he's promoting now. Advertisement now.
It's my experience. I'm just sharing what I found worth going to see,
There you go.
So it's lovely. It's lovely. The people is really friendly. Now, English is the local language. On the Atlantic coast, the official language is English. On the Pacific side of Nicaragua, the official language is Spanish.
Oh God, you're going to be
It's
confusing.
We are so diverse.
That's good. All right, guys, this was just kind of a 101 if you're not familiar with Nicaragua, but if you think it might be interesting to see, hit Jazz up and you can ask him some more questions. Thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the
time. 101 of Nicaragua. Guys, I'm Michael Lown, travelcostaricanow.com. Hey, if you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research. And if it's Costa Rica, I'm going to say my videos, and I'm even going to say for Nicaragua, my videos. All right, man. Ciao.